Okay, you're showing live?
Mm-hmm.
I am not showing it yet, but hey, there we go. Let's see what that is. There he is. There he is. What do you think? Okay, you gonna join me today?
Yes.
Wonderful, wonderful. So,
Oh, your
Okay.
screen froze.
no, it's not. I'm not
It
frozen.
is because I'm not on there.
No, it's delayed. There you go.
Oh, okay. There we go.
So you come by about 10 minutes later. Here comes Kira. And if I lean this way, you get me more into the picture. So.
Okay,
See
we're
that?
good.
See
We're
how that
good.
is?
We got it.
Okay. Okay, you have to excuse us. We're fairly new to this, so we're gonna kind of.
It's hard to do with just the two of us. We don't
See
have
if
a
we can-
cameraman today.
You're right. We're gonna see if we can kind of get a few new viewers here before we get started too much. We got a couple in. Chime in. Make sure and say hi when you're joining us out there. Make sure to stop in or say hi, and let us know that you're with us. And we're just gonna sip a little bit of coffee here and hang out a little bit. If you got any questions in the meantime that you want to ask, just go ahead
Shoot
and
them on over to us.
yeah,
We'd be
shoot.
happy to answer some questions for you. We love to talk, in case you haven't noticed.
Yeah,
We're
and we love
quite the
coffee.
chatters.
We love coffee as well. But we got Keith. Hey, welcome, Keith. How you doing, buddy? And Rick also. Good to see you, Rick. We're just kind of looks like we got a few more, and
Any more jump on them?
yeah, we got a few more. So I think we can go ahead and probably get started on topic. So.
Alright, yeah.
First thing we wanted to talk about today is we're going to talk a lot today, not a lot, but we want to try to keep these to about 10 minutes or so. But first thing we want to talk about today, one thing we want to talk about rather, is logo design and all about logo design.
The process it takes from getting from pencil to paper all the way to on the computer, because we start with all hand-drawn logos, sketch them out on our sketch pads, get all our ideas out onto paper, and then transfer them to the computer and then transfer them to you guys. So we're going to talk about the whole process of what is the whole process of logo design, as well as the importance of the message that your logo tells you to your customer, and also a couple of misconceptions about logo design that some people may not know.
Right. So before we go ahead and like I said, if you're viewing out there, make sure to pop in and say hi. So we can kind of say hi to you, give you a shout out there on the air, and thank you for joining us. So. But before we go ahead and get into all the logo design stuff and all that crazy stuff, we're going to go ahead and I'm going to pass it over to Kira. She's going to go ahead and announce a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, a couple weeks ago,
we
had all those
apologize.
holidays in there.
We were supposed to have another live broadcast, right before New Year's, and we never did. Things got really hectic. The holidays kind of took over. Sicknesses took over the household.
Yeah, the plague kind of went through our house, so yeah, we were all sick
so it
and
wasn't
holidays.
good.
And
It wasn't good. It was a good holiday, but it wasn't good, because of sicknesses and stuff. So, with that being said, though, hey Joe, that's your friend. That's not Joe. That's Lexi.
Oh, hi Alexis.
Yeah.
Hi.
But so anyway, just to let you guys know, I'm going to turn it over to Kira. We had a contest the last time we went live.
Yep, for the person to submit the best answer for the best gift you have ever given or received that was handmade, not store-bought. And the winner of that happened to be Janelle Hargraves. Congratulations, Janelle. She is all the way from Bradenton, Florida, so we have fans all the way from Florida. Thank you out there for representing us in Florida. Her story was that the best gift ever given or received. She said, that's a hard one because I love them all. I would say my preschool class I'm helping to teach. We took each little one's picture and made them into a real puzzle on a puzzle board from the craft store Michael's. We cut each one out and put them in a handmade decorated jar for the parents. Merry Christmas, y'all. So I thought that was pretty neat. That's something handmade, and it meant a lot to her to help the kids to also learn the importance of sometimes, you don't always have to make, go out and buy store-bought and things. You can make things for people as well, and I think that made the kids and the parents feel very, very good about that. So thank you, Janelle, for submitting that story. You were our winner a couple weeks ago, and we sent Janelle a gas card. We would like to do one giveaway every month, so make sure you guys stay tuned to all of our videos to get your best business advice, as well as to get in on some of those, and maybe you can earn yourself some deals towards some marketing and stuff for your business.
Cool. Awesome. So congratulations, Janelle. Once again, thank you very much.
Hi, Brandon Herman.
Yep, there's our neighbor. Won't you be my neighbor? All right, cool. So, moving right along here, we're going to go ahead and talk about logo design. We're just going to kind of try to wing it here, so if you have questions or we're kind of out of order with how we're presenting information, just let us know.
Something you don't
pretty new to
understand
this.
or something you want to know more about, yeah, just ask us a question, comment on the video. We'd love to answer any questions you guys have as we're going through this.
Yep, as we go through, we'll just ask any questions. We'll go ahead and get them answered for you. So, one of the biggest things that we do here is logo design. We take logo design very, very seriously and treat it very professionally as such as it should be.
Well, because we're creating an image basically for your business. This is going to represent your business and to all your consumers. So we want to make sure we put a lot of time and thought into these for each individual business.
One of the biggest misperceptions is people always come to us and they say, well, yeah, I want to do some lettering in my vehicle, or I want to do some business cards or things like that type of thing. And the first thing we ask them is, do you have a logo? Not that we're trying to sell them a logo that we do, but because we know its importance of putting that out there. So for an example, a lot of times when people come across a logo, they will go ahead and say, well, I don't have a logo yet, but can you whip me up something? Well, of course we can whip you up a lot of things. However, for several different reasons that any business owner can explain, you can't do that for free. You just can't. As much as we'd love to do design work, that's kind of what we do. It's part of how we make our living, part of how we make our money. So we have got to charge for logo design when it comes to logo design. Some logo designs can take anywhere from 4 to 6 weeks, some even a little bit longer, depending on how busy we are at that time of year. Because logo design is not our only thing that we do. But you can assure one thing: you're going to get an original logo from us. It's going to be designed especially for your business. And
it
chances
includes
are
revisions normally. So
Yes.
if we design something, there's a couple changes you want to make. It also includes revisions. We just want to make sure that you're happy with it, as well as it's giving the right image out for your company.
right. We get a lot of people come to us, and one thing that they will say is, excuse me, one thing they'll say is, I'm trying to throw an example out here.
I'll throw
an example out with me, for an example.
Yeah.
So if the logo pertained to me, and I wanted a logo design for my own company, and I would go to a designer and I would say, okay, well, the designer would say, well, what kind of things are you thinking? I would say, well, I kind of like flames. I really like flames. I really like hot rods and
Like
and
old
cool
cars and
old cars.
dice and skulls
that's
and
totally
things like that.
totally up my alley. I would love it. Can you do that in my logo? And he would probably look at me and laugh. Why? Because your logo doesn't have to symbolize what you like. It has to symbolize what your customers prefer and what your customers like. So you can't get into a situation where you're getting yourself personally involved in your personal interest and personal taste involved. You have to take into consideration your consumer.
Mm-hmm.
That's the important part right there. You have to appeal to them. It's not important that you appeal to yourself. Your own business, I'm sure, always is going to appeal to yourself. You have got to appeal to your consumer, and that's the most important part.
Because your first impression of your logo is the most important. And if your first impression of your logo makes them think that you're a completely different company than what you are, because the image of it, not just the wording and the name of it, but the colors used, the clip art or the drawings or whatever that may be in it, also have to help kind of tell the story of what your business does. And if it doesn't portray that correctly with that first impression, they may not even take a second look. So that's
Right.
very, very important to make sure that you have something that the consumer is going to recognize as well.
Correct. And so many people take logos for granted as far as their importance. They just don't understand. They just don't get the importance of a logo. Let me ask you for an example. We're all familiar with McDonald's and Burger King and Kmart and all those multi-million-dollar companies. They all have logos, and they all put that logo every single place you see their name, their logo appears. Whether it be Walmart or Myers or whatever it may be, their logo appears everywhere they advertise. Very, very seldom do you ever see a business put just plain text out there and say, well, this is McDonald's, or this is Burger King, or this is Taco Bell, or whatever it is. They always include that logo everywhere on all of their media that they advertise in. Whether it be phone books, whether it be newspapers, whatever it may be, business cards, it always has a logo on it, and it's important. In corporations like that, they even have corporate colors that you have got to stick with. So when we print brochures or flyers or anything like that for large corporations,
They'll give us the color codes that need to be used because their corporate
Specific.
requires those specific colors.
Yeah. they have specific colors that we have to use. So there can be no variance in color. So it gets down that picky. I mean, typically for a lot of the businesses that we do, the smaller businesses, there's not specifically a code for their color, but there's a general color in general that we try to stick to all the time for their use. And definitely, you know, if we do a fleet of trucks, obviously the trucks all get the same colors, type of thing. But so that's super, super important, and people just don't understand that. You know, they don't understand the importance of that, because it's a fact that the human eye will recognize graphics, images, shapes, and colors 3 times faster than it can read anything. Okay, so
think of it as like you're driving by seeing this logo. You know, when you drive, especially when you drive by, you only have so many seconds to see what that logo is going to say. So if it's same thing too with crazy colors. If you have too much detail or too many things going on, your logo's too busy, it's totally going to lose someone, and they're not going to have enough time to read it, and by that time they've already passed it and have no idea what you do. So it's also important to keep it not simple necessarily, but not too busy, not too colorful, not too busy, you know, too difficult for the eye to look at.
Right. And one of the questions I like to ask people all the time is, when's the last time you've read a McDonald's sign? When's the last time you've read a Burger King sign? When's the last time you've read Taco Bell sign? Or when's the last time you've read a box of Fruit Loops? I always ask people, how do they spell Fruit Loops on the box? How do they spell fruit on the box? Is it F-R-U-I-T or is it F-R-O-O-T? So we always ask people that, and 9 times out of 10 people can't answer that. They can't answer how Fruit Loops is spelled, but what they can tell you is they look for Toucan Sam. Every time they look for Fruit Loops. So it goes to show you the power of a logo, and some people, like I say, they just underestimate that so much. They've spent a lot of money and a lot of time developing Toucan Sam and getting him out there in the human eye, and it really, really worked. Just like McDonald's, we know that their colors are red and yellow to appeal to young viewers. That's why they use, or young customers, that's why they use
those colors.
Yellow and red.
Very, very
That's why Burger King uses orange and red. You know, these colors need to appeal to younger people, so it's all about the color choices as well. So if you're doing a logo and you're doing a logo for a toy store and you want to use the colors burgundy or browns, chances are 9 times out of 10 you are not going to appeal to a child. Okay, and that's the target of a toy store, is to appeal to a child.
People don't realize how important color choice, font choice, drawing choice that's in it. You don't realize how important all these things are, and that's things that like we talked about before. Like, let's say I like pink and I like teal. I like 50s colors, you know, but it may not appeal to a market for a business. Let's say if I'm doing a nursing home. You know, if I have a nursing home and I got a bright pink and a bright teal on there, it appeals to me, but it doesn't appeal to them, and that's gonna turn people away from that. So it's very, very important. These little things that may not seem as important, they are a lot of, in the human mind, it's very important things that, you know, you subconsciously, you know, look for, and you don't even know it.
Right. And also too, you know, we did talk about, you know, images and graphics being more appealing than, you know, that the mind can read that quicker. And that is true. The thing you have to keep in mind is your logo has to have balance in it as well. I mean, you also have to have the name out there. It's got to be presented the correct way to separate itself from the background images or the graphics involved in the design. You really have to make sure that your logo's got to have a feel to it. It has to feel your business. It has to look like it belongs in your business, feel your business, and your customers got to relate to the feel of that logo. They really have to, they got to feel the message without even reading it. They kind of got to get an idea of what you're doing. Like, we get a lot of companies come to us, and they'll be, like a lot of lawn companies, for example, will come to us and they will say stuff like, yeah, green is overused. You know, don't use any green. It's really tough to do a logo for a grass company or a lawn company that you can't use green. That's very, very tough because
people associate green with lawns.
Correct,
so
correct.
We understand to a certain extent there's some things that are overused, and there may be some images that are overused, but for
it's
certain
the way they're
things,
done that's overused.
Yes, exactly. It's the way that they're done. But for certain things like that, it's not that you can't use green. It's just that if you don't use any at all, sometimes it may be a little harder, I guess, for someone to associate that with a lawn company.
Yes.
Not impossible, but a little bit harder.
They have to read it. They have to work for it. They have to work for the message, you know, a little bit harder.
And let's face it, as Americans, we're lazy. So
And if we
sometimes we don't want to read or look at something like that for
Ultimately,
too long.
If
but
I do a logo for a water company, okay, and they tell
you
me
can't use blue.
you can't use blue, use red, that's gonna be pretty tough.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and I'm already thinking fire hydrants, you know, because I mean that's, you know, I mean, red doesn't associate to water, you know, and very quickly people can pick up blues and water and things like that type of thing. So there's so many details of a logo that's so important that we think about. When somebody decides to do a logo through us, for an example, we have a 20 questionnaire, 20 questions that we go through and we ask them detailed about their business. It's important that we understand every aspect of your business as much as you do. Okay, we have got to know what appeals to your customer. So that's our job, and that's what we've been doing here for many, many years. Is we do a lot of research and really look at what your customer is doing, how they spend their time. There's so much research that we do on our behalf. It's so much more than just the drawings or the computer creation of your logo.
Or what
and
your
the ad.
business does, you know, like he said, you know, we need to know like what age market you're kind of going towards. Is your company more oriented towards like male or female, you know, or both, you know? It's what do they do? Like he said, in their free time, you know, they could be retiree, you know, golfers and, you know, boaters and stuff. So we need to appeal to that type of market. You know, there's so much more involved than people realize.
And many of this stuff is basic stuff, but a lot of people just don't understand that, and we see it all the time. They come in for a logo and they're just like, I don't even know where to start.
Mm-hmm.
And
or I didn't think about that. You know,
Exactly.
I didn't think about that. This
Exactly,
would,
yeah.
you know, and that's totally fine. That's what we are here for. You know, for you guys to ask us questions when we design a logo. You know, we're happy to answer all these things. You know, and there's been lots of people that have been, you know, really thankful. You know, that we brought some of these things up because, like I said, that's things that they don't think about. It's not something that the
It's
average
important.
person thinks
It's
about,
very
but
important.
it's very important.
Attracting your specific customer or consumer is very, very detail oriented. It's something that's very, very serious, and you need to take a really close look at how are you appealing to your consumer. And if not, maybe that's a reason why you may experience some dead spells in business, or business may be slacking during certain times or whatever. You know, also, if I place an ad, going back to the look of a logo, if I place an ad in a newspaper and it's just plain text, okay, and I place that ad week after week after week in that newspaper, and I waste my money, I'm throwing it out the window, because nobody's remembering me. They're not remembering me. They're seeing the text that looks the same as the guy above it, and the same as the guy above that, and the same as the guy above that. It all blends in, okay? If I put an ad in the newspaper and I slap a logo in there, now, I've had people come to me and say, well, I put my logo in the newspaper, I advertise, and this kind of gets a little bit off topic of logos, gets more into advertising, but people say to me, you know, well, I put an ad in the newspaper and I haven't gotten any phone calls. And my question to them is, did you expect to? Because you'd have to be a fool to expect to.
Mm-hmm.
Now, why do I say that? Placing an ad anywhere, in a book, a magazine, a pamphlet, maybe you're supporting a local event, maybe it'd be a basketball game or a fair or whatever it may be, you're putting an ad in a book. And people say, well, I didn't get one phone call from that book, I'm not doing it again. That's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. It's like, that isn't even what advertising is about.
Mm-mm.
Okay?
You may not always get a phone call, but someone may say that, or, you know, say
Advertising is about exposure.
Yeah.
You're not paying for an advertisement to get people to call you. You're paying for that space to be in front of people's eyes. That's why people want to know how many impressions or how many eyes that ad is going to fall in front of.
Mm-hmm.
Just like on the radio, how many ears are going to be listening.
Exactly.
So that is really going to explain how it all happens as far as, you know, when you place an ad. Are you getting your value? You won't know if you're getting your value until you do it continuously for a while. You put an ad in the newspaper. I'm going to be a fan of the newspaper if it's a body shop or collision shop. And if my car's not wrecked, I'm not going to call them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Right.
But the ad is there. If I open the newspaper week after week after week after week and that ad's there with that logo and I'm seeing it every week,
that's who you're going to be more
when I
apt to
wreck
call.
my car, guess who I'm going to probably call?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to remember that ad seeing every week.
And there's been plenty of times where I've had that happen, even by word of mouth. You know, not just ads word of mouth. I've heard it enough, and then when it came to the time where I needed something like that, I'm like, hey, what was the number of that place again that you used? It's
People
about
always go
staying
by
in
word of mouth.
front.
They always go by word of mouth is number one. There's no doubt about it. And I don't want to get off topic here because we're starting to talk about advertising a little bit, and that's going to be a whole different topic. But so we have a question here. Let's see. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, that's a good point. Black and green coloring for ads. Shay says one of her favorites for catching people's eyes, along with other bright colors. And that's true. We talked about a little bit about bright colors just a little bit ago. We talked about McDonald's and Burger King using bright colors. They use bright colors to attract young eyes. Okay. So, for an example, if I'm selling a business or if I'm doing a logo for a business that's let's say a contractor and they're doing extremely high-end build. They want to build homes that are $200,000, $250,000 and plus.
Maybe you want to stick to more rich colors like emerald greens, navy blues, maroons, and things like that.
So there's lots of different things that need to come into play with a logo that we can't describe how important it is. So real quick, I want to start getting through some of this information. We've got quite a few more things here to cover with you guys real quick, but regarding logo design. So we want to talk about where
the process of designing a logo, what it all involves.
The process of designing a logo. So like I said, we have a 20-question questionnaire. When you come in, you have two designer choices. You can have myself design a logo for you, or you can have Curie design a logo for you. And the pricing will be a little bit different due to years of experience. And we literally have hundreds and hundreds of logos that we've done over the years, over all the years for you guys to review and look at. A lot of them on our Facebook page, some's on the website, some's here in the office.
Yeah, and if there's any you guys ever want to check out, like you said, go to our Facebook page. You got a whole album of logos that we've done on there.
And we keep that up to date a lot more
than our website, yeah.
Our website, we're guilty. It's very out of date, but it gets the information across. We use our Facebook page most because it's the best way to communicate with all you guys. That we can do it quickly.
It's more useful.
Exactly. So we have lots and lots of different logos for you guys to check out there, and we wanted to show you just a couple examples, kind of where logos start from when it comes to the design process. So, like I said, we have a 20-question questionnaire. We go through in an extreme amount of detail in this questionnaire to get a feel for your business. It's important that we know what we're designing for and who we're designing for. We do a lot of background research on your competition. We do research on what they're doing and the consumers and things like that.
Yeah, because it's good to know that too when designing a logo, who your competition is or what you feel makes you stand out from them. All those different things are all things that are involved in creating a logo.
And that's how we can make things, more appealing to your consumer than maybe your competition is with their business. So we can kind of give you a little step ahead of the game. If you're driving on the road, you see a body shop and it's this hand-painted sign and it looks like maybe a 12-year-old did it or whatever. Nothing against 12-year-olds, just some are pretty creative. But if it looks like a hand-painted sign and just not the best, and it's maybe a piece of wood and it's all chipped and cracked and the paint's falling off and the structure doesn't look that good, you're probably not going to be too comfortable taking your car there.
No.
I'm assuming, as opposed to the guy down the road who's got this professionally designed logo and his building looks really nice and his sign structure looks really nice and he's got a brand new sign and there's nice professional logos all out there nice. Chances are they're going to get the business, and that's why you have to spend money sometimes to make money. And that's just kind of the way that it goes. It's always been that way. That's nothing new. You always have to spend money to make money. That's just kind of the way that business goes in general. But so I'm going to jump to this real quick. There's a couple of logos here I wanted to show you guys real quick, and I'm going to show you several different variations here.
Yeah, I can take them and hold them closer to the camera for you too.
Okay.
You're ready.
This is. These are just kind of sketches. None of these, some of these may not have been chosen in logos. They're just kind of sketches, kind of showing, getting some of the brain ideas out and getting them rolling, type of thing. So this is just kind of a little pencil sketch, just a quick glance at it of some, it's it could be delayed, but we're probably facing a delay. So, but anyways, just kind of comb through that real quick. Just kind of quick pencil sketches. Okay, give me that one back. Okay. Just kind of showing how some of the sketches happen. This is another one here. I'll kind of fan through this tab a little bit. So for example, we get customers sometimes and they'll have like logos that require trees or something very generic, extremely generic, to where there's thousands of clip art items
Or
of
like a
these
hammer,
out there, or a hammer or something like that type of thing. Some of those things,
the sun.
yeah, the sun, you know, some of those things, even doing a hand-drawn logo, some of those things we may resort to starting with some clip art. So we might find some clip art that's kind of the tree that we're looking for in our head. Because like I said, about every variation of tree has been done as far as the drawing of the overall tree. We can of course go through and tweak it and make our changes to it type of thing. We can change this and that type of thing about it that we may or may not like about it. But overall, most of the things, hi Tara, most of the things have already been drawn. So we can kind of look for the right kind of tree that grabs us, that kind of is something that we're thinking of that in our head, and we can start with that basic clip art image. So, and then modify it to be our own. So this is just kind of an example here. This is a tree that was kind of taken off from, it started as a clip art idea, and then we kind of just branched off into our own. There's a few other drawings there as well, and I need to see what you're showing there, so no. Okay, and then this is again hand-drawn logos type of thing. Kind of starting with some hand-drawn stuff and making some sketches, just kind of getting some ideas out on the paper. That's where it all starts. And people kind of wonder why it takes so long for a logo, because there's so many different ways to do the logo that you really, the possibilities are endless. And sometimes, you know, the drawings, you get a lot of great ideas out on paper, and you're just kind of sketching type of thing and thinking, well, what can I do next type of thing, and how can I change this or how can I change that. These are a few more here that I wanted to show you guys. Let's see. I'm going to start with some basic. This was some doodling with some lettering. That's just some doodling, but it's kind of showing you how, you know, we work lettering with our logo design as well. We try to do as much hand-drawn lettering as we can. Then once we get it into the computer, we try to choose a font that's similar or close, and then we kind of modify, or we'll create our own font, period, as we go. So this is just kind of some sketches again for another logo that we had done for a local company called Sweet Gestures, which Sweet Gestures came to us. They were looking for a logo that basically screamed old school candy store. They wanted something that was very old, antique candy store, and these are some of the sketches or drawings that we started to come up with. So these are the rough, raw sketches. I mean, I wanted you guys to see where the whole process starts from and how it all starts. I mean, it's not an easy process. It goes through lots of sketches, lots of paper, lots of pencils, and we kind of start with, you know, all different kinds of things, just getting some different ideas down. It never stops. Okay, here's a few more. I know we don't have the actual best handwriting, but, and then, so all the variations you've seen there for Sweet Gestures, and this one actually was the final choice that they have chosen. This next one I'm going to show you here is actually the final choice that they had chosen. So this is the final choice that they ended up with in black and white, or they seen the pencil sketch, and this is kind of what they ended up with there.
The final one in color.
And this is the final one, but some of these outlines were jacked up, so this is kind of...
I believe that one's on our Facebook page, though.
Yeah, it is on our Facebook page. The actual one in color. We're going to show you this one. Some of the lines are kind of screwed up on the computer. It didn't print correctly. But the final one is on our website, or on our Facebook page, I'm sorry. We did post this one, and this one got a lot of great reviews, so this is just kind of a quickie on that one. So that was one that we had done for Sweet Gestures, and you know, again, they wanted the old-fashioned antique candy store type of look, and they were extremely happy with what they have gotten. The next one that I don't have the hand drawings here with me, and I wish I did, but I'd have to dig those out for maybe another time to show y'all. But this one is the final one that the customer had chosen. And again, this started the same process. It was all drawing. And these were hand-drawn stuff here.
And this one was actually for branding purposes.
Yes, this one was for branding purposes. The customer wanted a brand to do something. He has released Open Season Coffee, and you can get that at, I believe it's openseason.com, but the link should be on our Facebook page somewhere where we did post a logo. I think we did post a link to the website as well if you want to try that out. So, but yeah, it was really a fun brand to do, and this guy came to me and he had so many unique avenues he wanted to take the logo. It was very, very difficult to do this logo, to come up with it. But he was very, very happy in the end, and the brand is doing very well, and it's supporting, it's sporting, rather, the Open Season Coffee logo that we have produced right here at Extreme. So this is his final choice. I'm going to show you that. So one of the things, okay, that's all I had to show here. You can come back and have a seat. Thank you very much. One of the things I wanted to show real quick, or talk about real quick, is we talked about logo design and paying for logo design. There's a lot of, well, Kira, what do you got to add about logos? I mean, you kind of got one here that, one specific one that you had created here, one of yours.
Yeah, just kind of the difference between his logos and mine. He's way more of a detailed hand drawing artist than I can. I can draw cartoons, but that's about it. So I do most of my creating on the computer. I edit things on the computer. Some of my stuff, it's not hand drawn necessarily, but I do create it from scratch on the computer. Or I edit clip art to make it customized clip art. To fit your logo. I'm trying to work on my hand drawing skills, get a little better at that so I can offer more original designs like my dad, but right now my original designs come from the computer. So this is just kind of an example of a logo that I did for a local chiropractor, the one I'm most proud of anyway. What this was is all this part right here started out as a hand drawing. That one I did hand draw, but this one I kind of edited on the computer to fit exactly what she needed, because she also does animal chiropractics as well. So I had to kind of add that in there for her as a revision later on down the road. But just to kind of see, you've seen my dad's kind of designs, you've seen my designs. That's kind of the difference when you're choosing which designer to do your logos when you come to us. Is his are a little bit more, because obviously he's been involved in the business a lot longer, has a lot more hand drawing capabilities than I do. But I still try my very best to get you a completely custom logo that is going to fit your company. I just don't have as many years of experience as he does. But I'm getting better at it. I'm getting a little better. So.
Like with any other business, when we go out and about, we look at logos all the time on signs, and sometimes we'll be like, sometimes we'll do, a face slap and be like, oh, please call us.
Yeah.
Call somebody, please, But other businesses, other times we look at everything. Sometimes we're like, oh, that's a kind of cool looking logo. That looks cool and that looks good and gets a message across. And a lot of times we grade them. I think like if the school does papers, a lot of times we grade logos when we're out and about and we see different businesses and really take into consideration. Did they spend the time on their logo? Did they have somebody design it that knew what they were doing and type of thing? Because and I gotta say,
we do that with any advertising, really.
I gotta show it to a lot of females and really give a kudos to a lot of females, because you poor ladies, when the husbands own businesses, sometimes I know the ladies, you always get shoved the design work. And I know you get the design work crammed down your throat, and it's like, I think that they feel that sometimes just because you're a woman, you're able to do logo design or something. I don't know exactly what it is, but and I feel your pain, because I know several people that are good friends of mine. They're like, I hate doing this stuff for his business. You always got to design stuff, and I don't know what I'm doing, and blah, 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 type of thing. And a lot of times, a lot of times it can be a bad thing. It can be a bad thing for the business as well. Because again, like we talked about, if you don't know who you're targeting, what you're doing, it's very, very difficult. That's why they offer college degrees for design. That's why they offer college degrees for logo design, things like that type of thing. That's why you have logo designers out there worldwide. That's why you have branders. There's branders out there, and a good friend of mine, one of my mentors when it comes to logo design and graphic design, is a very popular man. He's produced several books on logo design. Has a huge business doing logo design. Does it worldwide. And his logo is just a logo alone. To design a logo, to have him design a logo, is about $3,000 for him to design a logo. That's way, way, way more than what you'd ever pay with us. But my point is, it's there, and people pay for his profession because they know how good he is and how good his logo appeals to the people that it needs to appeal to. So it's money well spent. It really is. I mean, people, it's an investment. Logo is an investment.
Right. And that's the thing. That's something that people don't understand. Is like you said, you got to spend money to make money. You know, and if you have to care about the image that your business gives out, and you have to, you know, put time and effort into that if you want to get the results that you want. You know, and some people don't understand why we charge for a logo. Well, that's why, is because, you know, we take, like you said, it could take up to 4 to 6 weeks or sometimes even longer, depending on what you want for your business, and that's time that we are investing in. And you've seen the talent of his drawings. You know, it's all hand-drawn stuff that comes right out of his head. You know, it's not clip art. It's not, you know, it takes time to come up with that stuff, and we want to make sure that, you know, we're putting the time that you paid for into designing this image, because it's going to represent your business for however many years, you know, in the future. So
logo design
it's important to put that investment in your company when you're starting it, because, you know, that's, like I said earlier, first impressions are very important, and if you give the wrong one, sometimes that can really affect how your business does in the future.
One of the biggest things too is people, it's probably the biggest overlooked thing that a new business misses every time. They always forget about the logo design. They think, okay, well, I got to get a sign, I got to get insurance, I got to get you know, this business license, you know, I gotta get all these different things, but I gotta get business cards, I gotta get shirts, I gotta get my truck lettered, but they always skip the logo. They always skip the logo. I can't tell you how many businesses have walked in the store or even called us. I mean, we have businesses, we have logos that we do for people all over the United States, and they'll call us and they just don't have a logo. They don't understand the importance of it, so we'll talk to them and explain things more to them, give them some time to make up their mind, their decision on what they want to do. And 9 times out of 10 they call back and they want a logo done, because they understand the importance of it. So that's where we start basically. And when it comes to logos, you know, a lot of times people will say, well, and we get this more times than never, is people will always say, well, see what you can come up with. Well, as I mentioned earlier, we can come up with a lot. There's a lot of things we can come up with. And we can really come up with some stunning ideas, I think. I mean, I'm not trying to be, you know, toot our own horn or nothing, but I'm just saying, I mean, when it comes to design, that's kind of what we do. It's just like somebody saying, well, I can fix your car. You know, if it's a mechanic, well, that's what he does. Of course, you know. It's the same type of thing with us. Well, people will say, well, see what you can come up with. Well, we can see what we can come up with, but that's kind of, in essence, like, go ask an interior designer to design your house for you, and say, you know, if we like what you did, we'll pay you for it. Or telling the guy at the pizza shop, you know, well, make me a pizza, and if I like it, I'll pay you for it. Or telling a contractor, why don't you build me this house, and if I like it, I'll pay you for it. You know, and it just doesn't work like that. Business doesn't work like that. You can't do that. Why? Because the investment's already been made. When they build the house, or they make the pizza, or an interior designer designs you an interior of your house, or even an architect designs for a house, the work has been done. It's already been done. Okay, so it really needs to be compensated for. So that's really the only way that you can describe it. I mean, it really needs to be compensated for. We're gonna check. I think maybe a customer might have pulled in. So, anyways. It has to be compensated for. So ultimately, we're trying to keep our logo design prices as low as we possibly can to benefit our customers. But ultimately, it's difficult to do something like that, because we want to design things
when you're paying someone for a skill. I guess it's hard for people to understand with like you said, artwork. And it was behind. Yeah.
Gotcha.
It's difficult when you deal with something like artwork, or like you said, you know, interior designers, people that design houses and things like that. You know, it's difficult, but that's what people come to us for, is our skill that we have. You know, it's not, we don't. I mean, we have products too, but we're not like a retail store where you come and you pay us to buy a product, you know, necessarily. You're more of paying for the skill that we have. So sometimes it's difficult to.
I guess another way to look at it, you know, is if you look at like a snow plowing business, for example, you pay a snow plowing business for a service. They come here, they do the service of plowing your driveway or whatever it may be. They plow your driveway, and really, it's kind of money that just kind of went poof right out the window, because when it snows again, you're paying them again. So it's an inexhaustible service that's going to keep coming back. It's a repeated expense that's going to keep coming back. With a logo, I guess if you look at it that way, it's kind of something you're purchasing, And once you purchase it, it belongs to you.
Mm-hmm.
So, it may not be something you can touch or hold in your hand, even though you can print it on paper and hold it in your hand. It may not be something you can print or hold in your hand or touch or something like a material type of thing. But it is. It's so much more than a material thing because it's the look. It's the face to your business. Is probably the best way to say it. So, and it really means a lot to people to do that. So, I mean, on that note, yes, we can come up with lots of different things. Now, typically when somebody pays us for a logo, it typically includes 2 to 4 different idea concepts, completely different concepts that
And
we
up to
that,
3 revisions.
that we present to them. Yes, and up to 3 different revisions of their choice. When it includes, like I said, 2 to 4 different completely different options, that's great. Okay, but sometimes realistically, let's be honest, it ends up being, once in a while, it will end up being 6, 9, 12 different options.
Mm-hmm.
Basically because we can't narrow it down, and the ideas just started flowing so well that we can't narrow it down. And as much as we would like to take rejected logos and reuse those, for some reason we never do. We always start from scratch.
Mm-hmm.
For everybody. We always start from scratch. And we would save a lot of time if we just went back and grabbed some rejected logos, that we thought was great and reincorporated a new business into it. We would save a lot of time.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know what it is. I've just never been able to do that. I've never been able to grab it. It's like once it's been created, it's old to me. And it doesn't need to be for this new business. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how to explain it any better than that, but once I create a logo, it's created for that consumer.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I've ever had a customer ever come back to me and say, I don't like what you did.
Yeah.
And again, I'm not trying to sound conceited in any way or toot our own horn, but honestly, I mean, when we tell people, when somebody comes to us, they say, well, you want you to do a logo for me. We say, okay, well, it's this much money, and we require half down to start the design process. I have never had, and I always tell people, please go to our Facebook page, go to our website, whatever it may be, and please look at everything that we've done. Look at it in detail, ask as many questions as you can, because we want you to be happy with your choice of choosing us to do it.
Mm-hmm.
We want you to be confident that that you feel that we can come up with something you're going to like, and be confident in our past work. So it's super, super important that people research who's doing your logo design. There's so many people out there, and it's really a shame, but there's so many people out there that advertise logo design, and they don't have a clue what they're doing. I have seen, to me, well, I guess to go back on, I mean, my perspective is this. I don't believe that you can teach creativity, if that makes sense. Nothing against teachers or art classes and stuff like that. I mean, I had all that stuff. I had many, many drawing classes and many, many graphic design classes and all that good stuff. But there was some students in there that tried really, really hard, and no matter what they did, they couldn't make it happen. They couldn't make it happen because I don't believe that you can fully teach creativity. I guess that's the best way to say it, fully teach it. I mean, either you have a certain point of creativity that you're born with, and you grow and expand upon that, or you don't have any creativity at all, and you're just not artistic. Okay? There's lots of different forms of artistic. You can be theater artistic, you can be musically artistic, you can be all different kinds of arts. And we have a customer here. So, you want to go talk to him real quick? We're getting ready to wrap things up here. But, so there's so many things.
You just leave it?
Oh, no.
There's so many things that we talk about with logos and things like that type of thing. So it's really, really important that you take into consideration those types of things. It really could go so many different ways. You have to, and that's part of going live here. We have a customer pulling. Kira kind of stopped for a second here to take care of them. So bear with us 1 second here. I'm going to kind of ramble on a little bit while she's busy. But yeah, so I kind of lost my train of thought here. But oh geez, where was I? Anyway, I think kind of get the gist of it. So if you have any questions, let us know. Reach out to us. and we will do our best to answer those questions for you. If you have a question right now, you want to ask right now, we got Tara, welcome Tara, and Brandon and George. Good to see you, George. And if you guys got any questions out there or just want to pop in and say hi, please do so. Because we are not too far away from ending the live conference here for today. So we got at least one question. Somebody out there's got to have a question for us. Somebody's got to have a question. I'm not even getting any questions yet. So we did have a question earlier, a couple questions, statements actually earlier. We answered those. So yeah, so we were talking about logo stuff, and I apologize. After you walked up to take care of the customer, I kind of lost my path of where it was. And
Shows how important that is.
yeah, you're that important to the show. So yeah, I wanted to give you credit for being here, honey.
Mhm.
Thank you for
Yeah.
supporting the show. So, but anyways, yeah, we hope it didn't bore you guys too much with the logo design stuff. There's so many things that are involved in it. And I remember, like I said, there was people who offer logo design, they don't have any idea what they're doing. And it's really sad. It's very, very difficult. And talking about teaching creativity, you can teach to improve creativity, you can grow your creativity, but I'm not a firm believer that you can teach creativity. Either you're a creative person or you're not, in my opinion. Again, this is strictly my opinion. You can teach to grow, you can teach ideas. I can teach Kira concepts of design. I can teach her different methods of design, different things and tactics and tricks and tips to use. And as she grows upon those are things that only she can develop and grow on. I can't do the designs for her. I can give her tips and tricks and show her things that I've done in the past that really worked. And she's going to have to take those tips and tricks, remember those, and move on and grow with those as she progresses, doing what she's doing. So, is there anything you've learned from graphic design over the years? I mean, through working in graphic design, that you have picked up on that maybe you try to implement more of, or that you're trying to grow on, or how do you feel about graphic design?
Sometimes less is more. Less is more, I would say. Don't make it as busy, because I think that's a typical mistake of a lot of young designers, is making things too busy. You want to fill the space, and sometimes you don't always, need to fill the entire space. Just need to get your message across and get enough done to do that.
Or how about the famous using a hammer for the letter T?
I'm not ready to do that.
Or thank God we've never had
That's
to
just
do
kind
that.
of common sense, I don't know, for me.
But well, no, some people say, I've seen it done 1,000 times, and one of the biggest mistakes that we see in logos is that graphic images being used for letters. Okay. Now I'm not saying that that's a bad thing. Okay, it can be done, and it can be done tastefully and professionally. But ultimately, I have to say, 9 out of 10 times, it's done very amateur, and it looks very tacky, most of the time. So again, get a designer. It doesn't even necessarily have to be us, but get a logo designer, and I mean a true logo designer. Someone who sets up brochures, someone who sets up print ads, someone who sets up a sign, somebody who sets up, some certain thing, certain forms of media. Not all of them are logo designers. There's a difference between a logo designer and a designer. Okay, a designer, a graphic designer, or a layout person, like somebody who does brochures and layouts type of thing. Obviously, they specialize in layouts and things like that type of thing. Kira's very good at that. She's very good at brochure design and layout and things like that. I'm not as good at that as she is. Flyer design, ads, creating an ad, like a newspaper or placemat ad or something. That's a whole different ballgame than creating a logo. That's a whole different thing. Okay, logo design is totally different. So don't go to just a basic designer for a logo. You're probably not going to be happy with what truly could be capable for your business, or your business could be as far as image wise. So definitely make sure you choose the right person for the right job.
Mm-hmm. Also, I would like to note on that real quick before we end here. Also, when you're getting a logo created, it's very important to not get too many opinions on which one to choose because of like what he said. You know, there's lots of people out there. Not to say that they don't know what to look for, just that they may not have they may not understand. Like we will have meetings with people who
Concepts
want to
behind
get.
it.
We will have meetings with people who want to get logos done through us, and by the end of that meeting, they have a pretty good understanding of all the things involved in creating a logo. Like we said, you know, age demographics, you know, and gender, if you're going to, you know, like what they do in their free time, you know. But those people you ask about the logo, which one to choose, they may not know all of what's involved with that. So they may choose one that looks the best to them, but they may not be your main clientele. So it's very important when choosing a logo as well. Don't get too many opinions on it because that can really cloud everything that you've learned about how important it is that the image of your business represents what your customer's going to want, not what all these other people
Right.
are going to want.
Some people are very persuaded by, well, they're very persuasive people type of thing. So you can get a persuasive person to look through your logo designs, your logo choices, and basically change your opinion. What you felt was great, they might be saying, well, you know, that's not that great, and whatever. There's all different kinds of things that could happen. So very, very important. Good point that you brought up. You know, it's important to not get too many opinions. So for example, a lot of times, we had mentioned earlier that sometimes when you get a logo through us, you could get anywhere from 2 to 12 different options. I mean, typically we guarantee you 2 to 4 completely different concepts, but depending how the ideas flow, you could get 12 different options that actually are presented to you. And the best way that we always tell every customer to start with the process of choosing one is to first off go through and eliminate all the ones you do not like, or the ones that you are definitely no. Definitely no, this isn't what I was going for. Okay, eliminate those. So that's the best place to start, is eliminate those. Once you do that, typically you can get it down. If you started with 12 logos, typically just by doing that, you can get it down to 4. Okay, that easy. Then consult close people that are close to the business, that understand logos, that understand
What your company needs to accomplish.
Right, that you're reaching the consumer. Make sure that these people understand what the consumer is looking for. Ask some of your customers, maybe. Don't ask necessarily family and friends. A lot of times they don't have a clue who your customer needs to appeal to. Or if they have a background in design, maybe ask them. You know, if they've designed several things. So maybe that might be the best way to go, is to ask people like that. But really, really take into consideration who you're asking, how many people you're asking. Because like I said, a persuasive person can persuade you to think that what you thought was great is not so hot. But a lot of times too, we get people come to us and they'll look at a logo type of thing and they'll say, well, gosh, that looks easy, I could have done that. Well, of course you could have, if you would have come up with the concept and idea, but you didn't. So with logo design, that's what you pay for, coming up with the concept, idea, and being able to create it for you. For example, people come to us and they, you know, what they don't understand is a logo for an example. What did I do with that? That's Sweet Gestures, you got that one? Okay. For example, a logo, you know, people say, well, I could come up with that. Okay. Well, yeah, but you know what they don't understand is, let me see the papers real quick. What they don't understand about coming up with a logo is this simple task. Okay. And I'll make it pretty simple for you, but if, there's probably nothing here for me to choose from. But anyways, alright, let's do this. Let's say, for example, if your logo, they have to remember that your logo, anybody that comes to us for a logo, that's how it starts. It starts with plain text, typed in, just like that. That's what you're presented. This is what you're presented for a name for the business. Plain text. Super plain text. Okay? And then you have to create something like this. Of course, this could be recreated. You know, I'm not saying it can't be recreated. But the point is, this is how it starts. This is what you pay a designer for. Okay? So my point is simple, that, you know, you have to take into consideration that, you know, yeah, after a logo is done, it's easy to say, well, that's simple. Well, I could say McDonald's is simple. I could say that Coca-Cola logo is simple, whatever it may be. But I didn't come up with it. I didn't come up with the design, the concept, the thought. That's what's important. So, Kira, what do you have to say about that? I'm going to go and read a question here. So
You pretty much said it all. I pretty much agree. Yeah, it's not. I don't know. Artistic ability is not as easy as some people think it is. It takes us a lot of time to come up with things.
okay, Keith had a question. He says, what would you say to someone like me who tends to overthink something like this, rather than just putting in the hands of, say, a business like yours who has done so many for others. A business that overthinks a logo or overthinks like a decision, I guess I'm not really clear on what exactly you're asking, but a company that overthinks a logo. The best thing I would say to them is, number one, every business needs one. We know that for a fact. Every business needs a logo. And if you tend to overthink something like that, the best thing to do is step away from it for a little while, I think.
And come back.
You know,
to it.
and come back to it. Yeah, if you're
Sometimes
starting
you
to
look
get
at it too long, you know, it gets to be a little, I don't know, just a little tedious on your mind, and just step away from it for maybe even like a day,
Yeah.
and come back to it, look at it again, and choose the one that makes you feel something. Like you said earlier, it should give you a feeling about your business, you know, and if you're not getting that off a first impression, because you have to look at it as if you've never seen these logos before. So I would come back to it after a day, look at it with fresh eyes, real quick, look at it for maybe 5 seconds, put it down. Which one of those logos did you remember the most about? The
Right,
colors, the detail, the name, you know, what
And
one did you
also-
remember the most?
Also, which one's going to fit everything you're going to use it for the best?
Mhm.
Like, for example, you know, which one's going to fit my truck doors, going to look good on my truck doors, which one's going to look good on a business card, it has to look good on all your media.
What one gave
you
you,
know.
the best feel out of those two? I wouldn't, because the longer you look at it, the more you think about it. I think that's what leads to overthinking, you know. So I would pick it up, look at it for 5 seconds, put it down, and then see what you can remember about it. See, you know, how it made you feel. Did it make you feel the way your business should make others feel, or did it make you feel like, oh, that's cool, but not really what you're kind of thinking, you know?
So I think Keith's question is kind of getting at, you know, is someone like him, he's talking about somebody who overthinks getting a logo done. You know, if he's overthinking getting a logo done, and basically hesitant because he's overthinking of getting a logo done.
Well, a logo should always get done, in my opinion. You know, you have to have one.
Right, a logo is important to be done, and it's a matter of, you know, really, and you know, like I said, the 20 questionnaire that we have customers that come to us and we ask their ideas. We want your ideas and what you see for your business. That's one of the questions that we ask is, you know, what's your ideas for your logo? What do you see? And of course, we take all of your ideas into consideration when designing it. And if they're going to work, and if we feel that they're best for your business, of course, we're going to go ahead and implement them into the logo designs, into the choices that you want. If we feel it's going to work, then yeah, by all means. If we think that your suggestions are great, if you're a builder, a home builder, and you like hot rods and you want flames in your logo, we're probably not going to do that because it just isn't going to. I mean, we will if that's what you want, but it's probably not going to do for your business what you hope it's going to do.
Mm-hmm.
So you know, we have to take that into consideration. So we're always going to look at what's best for your business, no matter what. And we're not going to try to sell you something that we don't feel is needed to be sold. So for example, over the years too, we've had plenty of customers come to us and they say, well, I want a logo. And they say, this is what I got now, but I want a logo. So, and a lot of times I'll look at that and I'll say, well, it's pretty good what you got. You know, this is pretty good. Let's do some tweaks and revisions and update it to bring it more into this century. Let's bring it up some more and update it a little bit more, give it a fresh, new, bold appearance. But let's start with what you got. And of course, that's a much cheaper rate to revise what you have if it's something that's going to work for your business. If we feel it's going to work for your business and that it is a good representation of your company, we'll suggest that you stay with it and maybe update it or just you know, make some minor changes, which would be much cheaper. We've done that on several occasions. So,
We've
not
revised our own logo, you know, in time or
yeah,
two. It's good to update it.
and not in every and logo changes are going to happen progressively. You know, if you look at Pepsi-Cola, they've updated their logo so many times over the years. McDonald's even had a couple small tweak updates, nothing too major. They want to keep the same image throughout the years. Burger King's had logo changes. AT&T, all these big companies have always had logo changes or minor revisions happen to their logo over the years. We've done it for several corporate businesses ourselves, redesign some of their stuff and bring it more into, make it look more modern, you know, type of thing. So, yeah, a lot of times, you know, let's see. The best thing to do with, when you overthink about what your logo should be, the best thing to do is just jot your ideas down. Make a list of your ideas. What do you see in your logo? What do you see possibly in your logo? Just jot down some ideas. None of it is carved in stone. None of it's permanent. Just jot down some ideas. Take that to your designer and say, these are some ideas that I had, but I'm going to give you, these are some colors I like, or that I would like to represent the business, not that I have to have. Give your designer freedom to expand their creativity. That's what they do, okay? While a mechanic's out wrenching on a car, while a lawyer's out winning, court cases, while police officers are out protecting us, watching out for us and such, and firefighters are out protecting fighting fires. That's exactly what they do. That's a job. That's a job. It's a career choice. Okay, that's what we do. While the medical profession's out there taking care of you medically, we are here taking care of your business through design. Okay, that's what we do. Okay, that is a specialty. Logo design is not something low on our totem pole at all. It's not something that we take very lightly at all. We take it extremely seriously. Okay, and when somebody comes to us for a logo, it's super important to us. Okay, your business is just as important to us as it is to you. Because if your business don't succeed, we can't do future things for you in the future. You type of thing, which we would like to do your trucks and your print work and your site signs and your banners and your signage. We want to do all that stuff for you in the future. We can't do that if your business fails.
No.
So, what do you have for a response to someone who overthinks a logo as far as what a logo should be?
Well, basically, like what I just said, like you said too, you write all your ideas down and bring them to your designer, and kind of let your designer, do what they do best. You give them your ideas, give them the look and the feel that you want for the business, and who you want to target and everything, and just kind of let them roam free with it, because.
So, for example, when you go to a pizza store, you don't take them all the ingredients and say, "This is kind of what I'm thinking. Put in this pizza. Here, do this."
No, you tell them what you want on it though.
Because they're a pizza store, you trust they know what they're doing, that they're going to make you a good
So that's
pizza,
what
right?
I'm saying. Is like you give them the basics to work with of what you want, and let them do what they're trained to do. I feel that we're confident that we can make something that you're gonna like.
Right.
So.
Well, we've had plenty of viewers today, and we hope we
covered a lot of ground.
We've had a lot of in and outs. A lot of viewers come in, come out. Hopefully, they'll come back and watch it a little bit later when they have more time. I know it's in the middle of the workday, and it's really kind of tough. It's tough for us as well. We're really looking for a time that kind of fits all of you guys the best. So if you guys could please respond to us, send us a message or whatever, make a comment. What time of the day? What time of the day works best for you guys in your day? Is it early morning, maybe before 8 a.m.? Is it lunchtime around noonish? Your type of thing that works best for you? Is it evenings after 5 it works best for you? What times is best for you guys as business owners, and works best for you guys, for us to come on in live and talk to you guys about different topics? This week it was logo design we talked about. We're going to be talking about a lot of other things coming up. We're going to be talking about advertising, marketing, so many different things. And we're also going to be running deals periodically. We'll either run a deal on maybe a product that we offer, or we will offer maybe a coupon to a business owner for so much money off from certain products that we carry, that we produce. So there's lots of different things that we're going to be discussing in the future. This is something that we hope to do weekly. We're going to try our best to do it weekly now that the sicknesses have been out of the home, and that the holidays are out of the way, except Valentine's Day coming up. Once all those are out of the way now, we should be able to get back on our weekly schedule of doing this for you guys. So we hope you guys enjoyed everything we talked about with logos. Like I said, if there's something that we didn't cover or something you want us to elaborate on more, give us a call, shoot us an email, shoot us a Facebook message. Whatever way is more comfortable with you. We're not going to pressure you into any kind of a logo at all. We'll just do our best to answer your question for you. Even if you have your own designer, that's totally fine. We'll do our best to answer
We just want to help to
questions
give
for
you guys things to think about when getting a logo made, because like we said before, there's lots of things, that we talked about that people don't know. So we just want to inform you guys that some things to look for, whether we're the designers or not, just some kind of questions to ask and things to think about when doing that for your business.
Yeah, so with logo design, it's so important, and like I said, we wanted to do logo design because it's something that we experience a lot of negative things about.
And it's kind of overlooked sometimes
so-
about how important it is. So we want to make sure that you guys understand how important it is and things that you can look for.
something that we're going to talk. Another topic we're going to talk about in the future is like business insurance. We're going to talk a little bit about that. Lettering your vehicles. We're going
We
to
have
talk
such
about
a wide variety of topics that we can talk about. So,
the good, the bad, and the ugly of lettering your vehicles.
or if there's something that you guys would like to
Yeah.
hear us talk about, next week, just shoot a comment on the video or shoot us a private message on Facebook.
Even if
there's
it's
something
something
that you would like to hear about, even if it's something, not even really design or
Yeah.
advertising related. If it's just something business in general.
working with a spouse,
Related,
or
yeah.
not a spouse, but we're working with a sibling or a family member. Working with a family member is what I meant. But well, I've worked with your mother too. But
Yeah.
working with family type of thing, or how does a typical work day go for us here, or anything like that. Family questions, or even if you have problems, going on in your life type of thing, and you just need to talk about. Message us, afterwards. Just a private message, and we'll do the best we can to help you out, type of thing, and all that good stuff. So, do you have anything else to add, Kara?
No, pretty much it. Covered it.
So we thank you very much, viewers, for joining in this week, and we hope we covered logo design really well with you guys. There's lots more to talk about, so I'm gonna let Kara do a close-up goodbye, because she's already up there by the camera. She's gonna do a close-up goodbye. You're just gonna get away from her. So. But all right, folks, we will see you next time. Hopefully see you next week. Thank you guys all for joining us here today. We appreciate it very much. Thank you, Keith, and the others for the questions. We appreciate it very much. And we will talk to you guys soon. Take care of yourselves, and God bless you all. All right, bye-bye.